Hello friends, my name is Pastor Alyssa and thank you for joining us in this time of midweek devotion. Today I want to share a few books with you and a story. One of the most influential theologians in my life has been Rachel Held Evans. I have a couple of books of hers that I keep on my shelf. I have Searching for Sunday and also Inspired. I recommend both of these. To be honest, I recommend anything that she wrote because I feel like she really helped in my personal faith formation as well as many others who needed a space to explore the big questions of faith. And I really appreciate the openness that she shared with people and the way that she opened her heart and her life and let people in to her own story and to her own journey of faith. Sadly, in May of 2019, Rachel passed away. And before she passed away, she had plans to write children's books, and sadly that wasn't able to come to fruition before she passed. But I am going to share a story with you today called What is God Like? And I want to read you the foreword of this book as well, that is written by her husband, Dan, because it really shares with you the story in a much better way than I could ad-lib for you. But this book is called What is God Like? And I think it really is a pivotal time for us to share this story together as we are currently in our series of reframing church and sharing how God is at the center of church. And I appreciate the vastness and inclusive nature of God and the exploration of the mystery of who God is in this book. And I am also a firm believer that children's books are not just for children. So we are going to share in this story today. I'd like to start with the foreword written by Rachel Held Evans' husband, Dan. Woven throughout this book, you'll find Rachel's heart for people, love of words, and the solace she discovered in the unknown. It was March of 2019 when she started outlining and writing drafts of children's books. As new parents, Rachel and I were in a fresh chapter of life. Our son Henry had just turned 3, and our daughter Harper was still a baby. Rachel was excited to write stories that they could enjoy. We had big plans and were building a house. But the crushing reality is that life doesn't always go according to our plans. Rachel wasn't able to finish the ideas for all her books. She got sick in April and passed away on May 4th, 2019, 2 weeks before Harper's first birthday. Matthew Paul Turner was often with me at Rachel's hospital bedside in the days before her death. His personal connection to Rachel and her words permeates the poetic fabric of art and text that you now hold. It's an honor to work with Matthew, who has championed Rachel and her work from the beginning of her career, before New York Times bestseller lists, before media appearances, and before he was known as a children's book author. It's also a privilege to work with Ying who ensures with breathtaking beauty that the idea of Rachel and Matthew are seen. I'm grateful to Rachel, Ying, Matthew, and the team at Convergent for their hard work, and I'm excited to share the collaboration of these artists with you. We are all fellow travelers through this life. Together, we learn to care for one another. Join me in these pages to discover ancient imagery, history, love, dedication to what's good, and acceptance of all people. Together, we wonder how we're simultaneously insignificant and grand in this vast universe. Together, let's explore the question, what is God like? But today, friends, let us explore the question, what is God like? As we hear the story, and I invite you to take a moment of reflection afterwards, to do a bit of journaling, and answer the question for yourself. What is God like?
What is God like? That's a very big question, one that people from places all around the world have wondered about since the beginning of time. And while nobody has seen all of God, because God is far too big for any of us to fully see, we can know what God is like. God is like an eagle, sharp-eyed and swift, with wings so wide you can play under their shadows. God is like a river, constant and life-giving. When you grow near God, you'll sprout up strong as a tree. God is like the stars, forever present and bright. Even when they feel far away, you can always look up and see them winking at you. God is like a shepherd, brave and good, a protector who loves her sheep so much that she watches over all of them and knows each of their names by heart. God is like a fort, strong and secure with walls that are mighty and safe. Inside, there are hidden places to hold you when you are scared or need a quiet place to rest. God is like a gardener, patient and nurturing. God plants, waters, weeds, and fertilizes the earth until every good thing on it seeks the nourishing sun and grows. God is like the flame of a candle, warm and inviting. With God close by, you can look to the light and see through the darkest of nights. God is like the wind, passionate and full of mystery. God is both here and mysteriously also over there. God is everywhere, swirling throughout the world, whistling across mountain ranges, rustling through trees, and pressing against your cheeks on a breezy day. God is like an artist, creative and unpredictable, always busy making and remaking everything brilliant and new. God is like a mother, strong and safe. You can crawl up into her lap whenever you want to, and she will hold you until you fall asleep. God is like a father, gentle and safe. He will put you on top of his shoulders to give you a bird's eye view of all creation. God is like three dancers, graceful and precise. They move to the same music in very different ways, showcasing all of God's elegance and rhythm in your life. God is like a rainbow, vivid and full of color, a dazzling reminder of promise and hope for all people after a storm. God is like a best friend, faithful and true, closer to you than even your brothers or sisters. And because we know what God is like, we know that God is kind, God is forgiving, God is slow to get angry, God is quick to be glad, God is happy when you tell the truth, and sad when things are unfair. She is your protector, he is trustworthy, they are friends when you feel alone. God hopes, God perseveres. What is God like? That's a very big question, one that people from places all around the world, throughout all time, have answered in many different ways. Keep searching, keep wondering, keep learning about God. But whenever you aren't sure what God is like, think about what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel brave, and what makes you feel loved. That's what God is like.